This conference will now be recorded.
Procedures of town elections. I'd like to start it off tonight by thanking Jesse and Rachel and their people that did the voting, took care of the ballots and all yesterday. It was a long day from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. plus till 10:30 getting finished counting the ballots. It was a long day. Everybody was tired. Their judge of the election, I always get his name mixed up, has made the suggestion that they can box up and seal the ballots and lock them up in the safe at town hall and wait until everybody was fresh this morning to recount the ballots so there wouldn't be any mistakes made. We did do that. There's been some questions about how we did that, but the box was closed, sealed up, balled up, and put in the town safe as soon as the election was over by our town clerk. He's taken a lot of criticism about what he did, but according to our town charter, he followed all the instructions. Our town manager, she has followed all her instructions according to our town charter. The election board, and I forget what number it is, Eric probably can tell you better, states that if there's any thought of any discrepancy or any fraud in the ballots, you can do a recount. Well, we didn't have any discrepancy or we didn't have any fraud, but we had a tie. So therefore, that's why the ballots were recounted. And so, just wanted to improve the procedures of the election. And in my opinion, I think it was followed very well by our staff and by our volunteers who took their time and counted the ballots. And then even gave up their time today, came in and recounted. So, anybody else like to speak up or say anything? Pass it on.
You do have people signed up.
Yeah, anybody, okay. If anybody has anything to say, we'll go to the public comments. 3 minutes.
Hey, Mr. Sweeney.
It takes 3 minutes to get up.
We won't hold that against you. We won't start counting until you talk.
Bob Sweeney, 14 Connecticut Circle, Boonsboro. First of all, I'd like to say I think the election board did a good job running the election. My concerns are dealing with the charter. Okay, because the charter says that the vote will be certified on election night. And if there is a tie, there will be a runoff. So, and I don't see any place in the charter where it says that you can do a recount when there's a tie. So my issues are there violations of the charter? And then I do have some concerns about once the ballots came back here, who was involved in the counting? Was it just the election board or were there more hands put in the pile?
Yeah. You can answer that if you like, Danny. Election board counted the ballots.
Before we go forward, I think maybe since you've all gone over the procedures, I'd kind of like to know what, from the individuals who handled the election, give us a brief synopsis of what actually transpired before we continue on, and we'll know what happens with the question. So, Mayor, is that okay with you?
That's fine.
So
Okay, with you, Bob? We wait. Okay.
So I think it's important to note that we had two outstanding circumstances that happened during the election. One, we had a tie, which has not happened in any of the elections that I can see up to this point. So we do not have anything in the charter specifically for a tie.
Jesse, can you introduce yourself?
It is in the charter.
Hold on, can I finish, please?
Okay.
Can you introduce yourself, tell me your position?
Sorry, Jesse Powers, Town Clerk. So the part about the tie in the town charter I think specifically relates to certified ballots. So when we certified the count, the problem is we had two registrars that said 103, 103, 103 for Dave Wade, 103 for Ken Ebmeyer. We had one registrar that had 108 for Ken Ebmeyer and 103 for Dave Wade. Now, according to the Town of Boonsboro town election procedures, which we've been following since 2018, at least when this file was created, and I quote, "The other registrar shall verbally agree or disagree with the lead registrar's tally counts. If all registrars agree, the town clerk shall continue to read the ballots and start a new stack of 25. If one of the registrars disagrees, majority rules." Therefore, we went by the majority rule, which has been done at every election up to this point. The problem came at the end when we said there's a tie and one of the registrars had a family emergency and stormed out of the building. Okay? That completely threw everything out the window. The registrars and the disinterested person and myself all came to the conclusion that it would be best at this point for us to put a pin in this, verify before we certify, verify the ballots. And we had said at the end of the night, we had said with the parties that were still there, the next morning, we are going to do a recount. Everyone said that was fine. No one
Jesse,
had
can you tell
any.
us who's there?
So Mayor Lee was there,
Nope,
Eric was
I
there
was
too.
not there
I
for
was
that.
there.
You were not there for that. You were there when the count read.
No.
No, you,
There.
Mary Lee, you were here, you were there
You
until
were
we
here.
left.
No, it
You were here when we
wasn't.
said it.
They did not say they were holding a recount in the morning. They were going to consult. We were not told a
I
time.
promise you we did.
No,
I
you did not.
promise you we did. I witnessed this. I promise you we did.
Did not.
Okay.
Jesse, can you tell me who in your opinion, who was there?
Mary Lee, Eric, Tony, Howard, Ricky,
And
And-
there were citizens.
and citizens too. Okay? The next morning, as we said, we held a verification. We went through the ballots specifically for Dave Wade, and by we, I mean our lead registrar, the other registrar, the one that had a family emergency, still had a family emergency and couldn't make it, myself and the town manager, which the entire election was handled by myself and the registrars, okay? And for the recount, we found that Dave Wade had 105 to 103. It was 105 for Dave Wade, 103 for Ken Ebmeyer after the recount. And that's when we started to get questions as far as the procedure that was followed. Now, in my mind, we followed all the right procedures. We followed the procedures of the town election procedures, which have been followed since at least 2018, and now it's a problem. And I just don't understand it.
Thank you, Jesse.
Jesse, did you say that the interested party said to recount? Did I understand that? That the night before?
Yeah, the night before,
Uh-huh.
all the registrars that were still there, John Michael left abruptly because he had a family emergency. And the disinterested person. We had all talked, the disinterested person had said, okay, these guys have been here since 6 a.m. It's now close to 11 p.m. Okay, they're exhausted. For us to go through and do this again, I think is unfair with John Michael leaving and us no longer having a majority rule or anyone to back this off of. We said, okay, we're going to do a recount tomorrow morning. And the people that were there, that were still listening, said that was fine. They said it was okay.
Yeah,
So-
the other registrars made the suggestion that it was too late and everybody was tired to do it tomorrow.
Okay, that's all I need.
So what was done with the ballots at that?
So per the town election procedures, again, which have been followed for all of the previous elections, at least to 2018, they were stored in the safe overnight, which is clearly outlined in the town election procedures.
The safe at town hall.
The safe at town hall overnight.
Where the doors are locked and an alarm is set.
Okay, so I guess a big question is then,
why don't we have the results of the recount? Why has it not been posted? Why is
Because I had people calling me all day yesterday, asking me what was happening, wanting us to speak to our attorney, which took about 6 hours to get his response to me. And his response was, the safest course of action was for us to have an entirely new tally with the disinterested person present. And that is what I said that we should do per the attorney that we're paying for such advice. And then I faced backlash that there was a question that the ballots were not secure. And that is why we're here now.
So the ballot, there's no, in your opinion, is there any reason to question the ballot? Personally, as the town clerk, and your responsibility,
Yes.
took them physically, brought them to town hall, secured them in the safes.
Yes.
And
Most of them are there today, right?
They're there right now.
Does that hold true with the early counts, the early votes?
The absentee ballots also go in the safe. You can see that in the town election procedures under absentee ballots. Store in the safe. Thank you.
And the number of ballots match the number of names that they have lined up. So there's no other ballots that got in. No way anybody could have got in. That's
So what are we waiting for now then?
So-
Why aren't we certified?
So all we want to know.
I repeat, because I was told that the ballots
Complaining about
were,
everything, and that we did everything wrong. So once they're gonna count them again tomorrow to verify everything, and it will be certified, sir. We had been certified today if she and Jesse wouldn't got so daggone many phone calls and complained about everything and everybody blowing up,
Well,
it would have been done today.
who was called? I mean, why were people calling?
That's a better
That's a better question.
I called, I'm one person. How many people called?
I don't know. There's
sir, I'm
several.
not referring to you when I say that we received many calls and emails about the matter, calling our integrity into question and the manner that we handled the entire matter. It was not you.
She was threatened and everything.
So here's my concern. My concern is there's so much problem with election fraud all over the country and people, it's a hot button with people now.
And
Okay.
I agree with that.
And what happened makes us all look like fools. Because, you know, if the charter is followed,
I think social media makes us look like fools.
Yes, I think so too.
well,
That's,
I'm
it's just plain and simple.
I'm just telling you, perception becomes reality. You know, and I care about this town. And I've fought for a lot of issues in this room. Some of which you all agree with, some of which you haven't. But, you know, the town charter is the law. There is no place in the town charter that says you to do a recount if there's a tie.
Sir, can I stop you there for a second? Actually, in the charter in section 515, the council has the power to provide by ordinance in every respect not covered by the provisions of this charter for the conduct of registration and nomination in town elections and for the prevention of fraud in connection therewith and for a recount of ballots in case of doubt or fraud.
And with all due respect, this is not a recount. A recount is what is called for when a candidate or anyone else thinks that there has been tampering or fraud and they want an official recount done. This is not a recount. If it had not been 11 o'clock at night and one of our majority had not stormed out, they would have recounted or verified the ballots that night and found there wasn't a tie.
But everybody in the community, all they heard was recount. They
I understand
got the votes
that.
in a recount. I can't tell you how many people have talked to me about it. You know, and-
So let's replace the word recount. Let's strike that from any further conversation. We'll call it verification. So there was a potential discrepancy, potential concern about the votes, and they were verified. It's like before we don't even know there was fraud or discrepancy until you
Nobody's
verify.
saying there was fraud.
Actually, there are some that are saying that
Yes.
ballots were not secured and the integrity of the election is at stake.
And they were secure.
They were secured in the same way that they have been secured to everyone's living memory in this town. It's never been a question before, to my knowledge.
But we also.
Well, well, there's the people that said that to you, I wish they were here.
I'm one of them. I'm one of them.
Okay.
I have questioned where the ballots were put, because if it was not certified on the night of the election, how many people had access to them?
Well, I agree with that.
Becomes an issue.
Nobody.
Our town clerk just testified and spoke
I've been
about
told,
the integrity of the ballots.
By that same point, if I can challenge you, if you certified those ballots and they were stored in the safe and someone asked for a recount, then you're into the same.
I agree. I'm not challenging that our election procedures might need reviewed and tightened up.
I agree. If the procedures. in
Our
the charter-
question is that there's going to be a recount and we've not been given results.
I would love to do a recount. I would love not a
I
recount.
thought we had one. I mean, this morning we had one, but we don't have the results.
Apparently, you told me to get our attorney's opinion on it.
That's what was
And
said
I
to me.
did.
That was what was said, that they were
And
doing
you
the
asked
night
for a
after. They would
meeting
ask for
tonight, so
counsel.
we're
ask
having our
for-
meeting to explain everything, so. I
And
hope
I'm-
everybody understands.
So when can we expect election results? That's what
You
people
just
want
said
to know.
So tomorrow, should have it tomorrow.
They
So I
I mean,
just-
shouldn't people be able to witness the recount like we were that night?
I just want to clarify, a couple of things. Okay, I just want to clarify a couple of things. The election results were tallied at the end of the count. There wasn't any discrepancies that I heard from any of the people that were filed for or had write-ins. All three of the registrars agreed with their, don't shake your head, you can disagree, but keep it to yourself. All three agreed with the totals.
I
There
can pull the
wasn't one,
tallies.
I'm sorry,
I can pull the tallies from the safe.
Well, we didn't get to
Well,
see the tallies.
we didn't get
only
to see the
heard.
tallies, let me finish. All three of the registrars totals agreed. And when John left, the tallies were finished. And he had to go because he had a family emergency he's still dealing with. So that's why he's not here. I stayed, Mary Lee stayed, Eric stayed, Ricky was there, Howard was there, and Rachel was there.
No, Rachel
I'm
wasn't
not
there
sorry,
then.
Rachel wasn't there, Kim was there, a couple of, might have been a hand, anyway. We had the conversation, there was a tie. That was what we had. We had a tie between Dave Wade and Eb Kedmeyer. Kim started to read all the charter verification rules, what we need to follow. The mayor sat there and said, we need to follow the charter and ask the attorney for advice. I said, I agree with that, Mr. Mayor. Let's lock the ballots in the box and figure that out. That's how we left it. Whatever other conversation y'all had, I did not hear you say that there was going to be a recount on a Wednesday morning.
John has brought that up.
I didn't have that conversation. My problem is that it was a tie at the end of the day. According to the charter, the vote tally should have been certified, and then you follow the charter to what happens next.
Jesse, I understand that it wasn't a tie. We had this 108, 103 for one.
We had 103, 103.
It wasn't a tie.
Right, as I previously mentioned, we had two registrars that had 103, 103. One that had Esther had 108, 103. But by the town election procedures, majority rules. If two match the majority rules, and that's the number that you go with,
But one left, two could be.
and one left.
Well, you are the town clerk, and it's your responsibility. So whose responsibility is the town council or anybody involved in it? Whose responsibility is the handling of elections? Who is responsible?
Town clerk.
No, it's the election board.
Well, we had the election board there. They decided we were doing a recount the next morning.
Did
So
you,
then
like, you
we can
have
complain.
permission from town council members present what you should do, or was it a decision you took upon yourself since I?
But the
That
election
was-
is
that was-
involved.
I know, I agree, Mayor Lee, that's what I'm getting at. It's not the council should.
That's exactly.
It should be your decision and.
No, actually, it was the judge.
The election.
The election judge, yeah. He's the one that suggested, made the decision. He said it was too late, everybody was tired, everybody was getting sleepy, make mistakes, do it with a fresh eye.
So is it a legitimate reason for anyone to question the integrity of the ballots?
No.
No,
No,
Okay, anybody else?
the question is, if the rules are the majority rules, you keep saying the majority rules, you know, and there was some discrepancy in 2 and 3 were 103, then why wasn't it certified? If that's the way it's always been, and the answer is the majority rules, why wasn't it certified?
Bob, because the majority wasn't there anymore. One of the majority left.
I'm talking about when they did the count, and it came out that there were 2 of them that had 103 and one had 108, and the majority rules, at that point in time, you have a ruler.
So what can, Jesse, can you explain that?
Because we had a tie, we wanted to verify.
No. The ruling was the majority rules, okay? So at that point in time, you can certify the election. You've got a tie, that's a different issue. The charter says you have a special election for the 2 that have the tie.
Tell me if I'm
It says
wrong.
you can have a recount.
Tell me if I'm wrong, but the first time you did it, you had, all 3 of you were right. You all had the same ended in a tie. Then the second time you looked at it, you had the discrepancy then, right?
Yes.
Right. So
Okay.
103, 103, 103, 103, 108, 103. And that alone should give us probable cause to recount, to verify, not recount, verify the ballots to make sure that the numbers are correct.
Then why do you have the process that says the majority rules if there's a discrepancy between the 3? Why is that part of the process?
And it happened more than once during the counting of the votes where the majority ruled and you changed the tally and moved on.
Right, but that was for the initial 25.
It was more than just the initial 25, because you did the initial 25 and then everything was scrapped and you started over. And throughout the night of counting, there was more than one time where there was a total that was not agreed upon by the 3. And the majority took the total. Am I correct, Esther?
Yeah, it was.
And that happened at least twice during the counting process, where somebody's tally was not the same and you agreed with the majority and you moved on.
Yeah, and then.
So what's the difference between during the voting?
But the
counting
majority would have
and the
been a
end?
tie. Am I right?
There was a discrepancy.
So then
No one
it would
ever
have
Right,
to
mentioned
be
nobody ever
there
said
was
there
a
was a
discrepancy, they
discrepancy.
kept saying tie.
So why would you not verify the tie to make sure that it actually is a tie? If we get to the end of that, that is common sense.
It's not common sense, it's the charter.
It's the charter. The charter says if there's a tie, you have a special election.
No, it says the council,
No,
they have the power to provide by ordinance
only if they think there's fraud or tampering.
Or
and
doubt.
for,
and
and
no
for,
one-
Doubt.
and
And
for a
doubt.
recount.
And doubt.
Yeah.
And doubt.
No one
But
was
the
told there
council
was
didn't
doubt
have-
in the
council
council
didn't have
at the
any doubt.
count. at the
We
end
were
of the
told
night.
it was a tie at
No
the
one
end of the
told us
day.
there was a doubt.
But doesn't
in the
that- Doesn't that put doubt in your mind?
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Why do we
You
have,
have 2 ties and 1 discrepancy. Don't give you doubt?
We weren't told there was a discrepancy, Ricky. Did you hear him say there was a discrepancy in the numbers?
I heard that they were gonna do a verification.
And I'm fine with that. Nobody
Then-
had a problem with
okay,
that.
then what's wrong?
what's wrong, we did it, and they found a mistake.
Our question is, if you did it, why don't we know what the results are?
Again, because you kept saying that the ballots were not secured and it was all.
I asked if they were secured.
No,
What is
I
the
told you they
procedure?
were in the safe and you said they should have been in a locked bag because you think too many people have access to the safe.
And they do.
And they don't.
Only town staff have access
And we
to
have
the
a
safe.
member of town staff spouse on the ballot.
And that is not in the question right now because that person's spouse lost. This is not about them. This is about.
I'm not making it about them.
Yes,
I'm
you are,
asking the
because
procedure.
Okay, okay.
You are calling calling into question the
every-
integrity of my
what-
staff.
Can I say one thing?
Sure.
Why do we have a judge, neutral judge, there to oversee? Well, he made the suggestion.
Right.
But he
He's the
wasn't there for
one,
the recount.
he's the one that said not to recount it that night because it was late and everybody was tired, to do it the next day when everybody's fresh.
And that's fine,
And
but he
that's
was
what
not
we did.
there, he was not there for the recount. That's
Yeah,
the problem.
You all agree?
Would somebody define what
Nobody
majority
agreed.
rule
We're-
is?
We shouldn't have.
Doesn't
That's
matter
part of your
what we say, it's
procedure.
gonna be wrong.
Would you define what majority rule is?
Mr.
Anybody
Mayor,
want to take a crack at it?
Bob, I appreciate your time. Mr. Mayor, we have several people who'd like to speak.
Okay.
Bob, I'm sorry, do you have anything else you want to add in closing remarks?
My closing remark is this: we should be having a special election, okay? And the reason for it is, that's what this document says. That's the only reason. I have no qualms about any of these people. You know?
So you're not questioning
Nor
anything?
do I have any qualms with the members of the election board. I think they do a fantastic job. So, but there isn't clarity, and you gotta go fix the not clarity. If you say the majority rules when they're gonna count here, then damn it, at the end of the day, when the majority should rule.
Hugh O'Neill. Present.
I have to read this for him because he had a previously scheduled thing. Dear Mayor and Council of Boonsboro, I understand that an emergency meeting has been scheduled this evening to discuss matters relating to the 2026 town election held on Tuesday, May 12th, including election procedures, policies, and preliminary results. As you are aware, I was a candidate for assistant mayor in this election. Unfortunately, I am unable to attend this evening's meeting due to a previously scheduled travel, as I will be in South Carolina attending my daughter's graduation from medical school. Given the importance of preserving public confidence in the town's election process, I wanted to submit this statement for the record and for consideration by the mayor, council, and town administration and members of the community. I have been informed that concerns have been raised regarding certain aspects of the recent election process, procedures, overall administration, and potential intimidation, including matters that could create a public perception of irregularity or procedural inconsistency. While I am not in a position to independently verify these concerns, I believe any issues raised regarding the conduct of a municipal election should be reviewed carefully and in accordance with the applicable provisions of the town charter governing municipal elections. The charter clearly establishes procedures related to election oversight, notice requirements, conduct of elections, certification of results, preservation of ballots, and council authority concerning election administration and recount procedures. It is in the best interest of both the town and its residents that any questions surrounding compliance with these provisions be addressed thoroughly, transparently, and in a manner that protects the integrity of the election process. Furthermore, if members of the council or other election stakeholders and Boonsboro citizens believe that aspects of the election process, policies, procedures, or talks of intimidation created a material appearance of irregularity or procedural defect, then any corrective action should be applied consistently and uniformly to the election as a whole. A partial or selective remedy could unintentionally create additional public concern regarding fairness, consistency, and equal treatment of all candidates and voters. Accordingly, if it is determined that the integrity of this election has been materially called into question, I would support a complete municipal re-election rather than any limited or partial re-election. Such re-election should be conducted within a reasonable time frame with sufficient public notice beyond the charter minimum requirements to ensure maximum awareness and participation by all qualified voters. Providing no less than 30 days notice and conducting a full election within the next 90 days would, in my opinion, best serve the interests of transparency, public confidence, and electoral integrity. A full and properly noticed re-election, if deemed necessary, would provide the clearest path to resolving any concerns while eliminating any lingering appearance of procedural inconsistency or selective treatment. My primary interest is not any individual outcome, but rather ensuring that the citizens of Boonsboro have full confidence that their municipal elections are conducted fairly, consistently, and in accordance with the governing town charter. Respectfully, Hugh O'Neill, town resident, candidate for assistant mayor.
Thank you, Rachel. Peggy?
I was just here to make sure Hugh's statement got right, so I'm good. Thank
So
you.
you're good, you're good. All
I'm good.
right, David Bell.
I'll be brief. I'm happy to hear how the,
Sir, I know we all know you, but some people don't. Your address, please. Thank you.
I'm happy to hear how the certification went and the testimony of the clerk and Rachel. I believe that the ballots, everybody can agree that the ballots were secured. I believe that any potential errors were only procedural, and that as long as the attorney is satisfied and there has been a recount, and there's going to be another recount tomorrow, that is sufficient. And thank you, and I'm sorry that you were treated that way.
Yes, unacceptable. It's unacceptable that you were treated this way.
And just, I have the registrars and this interested person already lined up for tomorrow. If you all approve to do a full recount tomorrow, I can make it happen. If that's what the public and you guys choose to do.
Actually, that's what I'm gonna suggest, after round of speaking.
We shouldn't be involved.
Now, right here, this is the council.
So if I understand,
Yes,
Power
it
of
does.
power.
Okay.
It does.
if you're not involved in the process, is it normal that you all were there when they were counting?
Yes,
Okay.
we always
Anybody
say
can
that the
address it.
results is
Okay.
open to the witness.
Anybody.
And normally, when there's a recount scheduled, you're able to witness. Yes, we always, everybody's always there to hear the.
Jesse, can you call the time for tomorrow?
You know,
What was that?
You get time.
we're not up at the table, we're allowed to see, but you're allowed to hear the count.
You need to,
There was
yeah.
never mentioned.
I'm not gonna be there. It's not, nobody at town council should be involved.
I say 2 p.m. Are you guys okay with 2 p.m.? 2 p.m.
Well,
2 p.m. tomorrow.
Well, yeah, but we're not making decisions.
Yeah.
That's not democracy.
Yeah, and I think that just my opinion, if the election committee, the election board decides, hey, maybe we should do a count to verify the ballots to make sure that this is the actual numbers that are portrayed, it should be up to them, right?
Yes.
You all agree with that?
The charter says.
Right, so then that's where the confusion is, because I just heard somebody say that it shouldn't be up to us to do a verification or a recount, that it's not in charge, Mr. Sweeney.
I did
So
not say that.
it's, you said that we should have certified it last night,
That's right.
right? And it wasn't, up to them.
Tuesday
You said that it wasn't up to them to do a verification.
Say that.
That's okay,
That's okay.
It don't matter.
but
I would like to hear just briefly, so I have all the information. Penny Esther, do you have a comment on this? Would you like to comment on the election or any discrepancies or anything, your opinion?
The only question I have, if there's only 2 individuals involved in this item, why do we need to recount 264 ballots? It took us 2 hours plus Tuesday night, 2 hours plus. And I don't know, I wouldn't call it landslides, but no other race was close. Why do we need to recount anything but the 2 candidates that tied? That's the only thing I have.
That's
what you should be.
That's what it should be.
That's your
You're asking
fault.
a question that.
Guys certified election,
However, if you want to count mine again, that's cool.
I voted for Ricky 6 times.
Denny,
So,
yeah,
that's a joke.
Denny.
Whoa.
We need a town attorney to guide us in these matters. It was his recommendation that all of them be counted for full transparency, but he is only making a recommendation. As far as I understand everything, the election board has the say in all of this. So if you don't feel that the closest, which were 10, if you don't feel that that warrants a recount, you are not obligated to do so. You can just count the 2 that were in the tie. The only reason it was brought up for counting all of them was the attorney said that would probably be the most transparent, but we do not have to do what he does or what he says.
But
It was just a recommendation.
If I'm wrong, Esther and I sat in here yesterday for over an hour, twiddling their thumbs while you and Jesse you had contacted Board of Elections on Virginia Avenue. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, wasn't their statement, it's your town, you run it the way you want to according to your charter.
That's correct.
So the only thing I'm saying is, why should we, Esther and I, and Jesse was involved, because you read the votes off. We were done in a half hour till everything went down the tubes.
Right.
We were done in a half hour. Why should we sit here for another 2 hours verifying what we already know to be a fact? That's my only input.
I think you're in charge.
Yeah, exactly.
Who's the lead?
You guys are the ones that have to certify the election.
Somehow I got voted that.
Congratulations.
You really
I
like
respect your
that.
position and your decision.
Well,
Well,
so,
Esther has to say she's another registrar. We might tie.
that's what I want to say.
That's what, he wants you to speak.
Oh, I agree with
Now, is the replacement registrar here?
No.
Well, two of
Is
us
everyone,
seem to put a lot of power in our hands.
yeah.
The charter
Their
says
kitchen
that you're
is
in
now,
charge of it. That's why the power's in your hands.
I just wrote in Eric Kitchen.
Am I recognized? for
You were
3 minutes?
recognized for
Yeah,
3
you're
minutes.
recognized to speak.
So first, I have Rachel's duties here as the town manager. Perform whatever duties are necessary to ensure all provisions of the council are faithfully executed. She has absolutely done that, in my opinion. There were extenuating circumstances, and people need to stop giving her shit. I have no doubt that Jesse tries his best. Those ballots were not compromised. Stay off Jesse's case. He's an honest young man. The ballots were in a safe, in a locked office with an alarm. That's that. Now, to Mr. Sweeney's point, and I guess we typically don't respond to people having public remarks. But you're correct, sir. The election was not certified on that night due to these extenuating circumstances. And you may disagree with that, but that's my opinion. Okay. So as I pulled the town charter, section 515, and I'll paraphrase, talked to Tony about this last night. The council has the power to provide by ordinance, a bunch of other words. Then it says, for a recount of ballots in case of doubt. I'm not a lawyer, but if this isn't doubt, I don't know what is. So we should authorize by ordinance to have this recount with all the registrars or the substitute present if the neighbor, John, can't be there, and Ms. Hez there. And isn't that the end of it? We don't need to have another whole election. I think that's ridiculous. And we don't need to have a runoff election until we see the result of this, what happens tomorrow. That's my 2 cents.
I come back to this.
And isn't there precedent for that anyway, when you found the
Ballots in the box.
2020 and
Yeah.
ballots?
Yeah, I have that here too, Dave. The mail carrier made a mistake.
Stuck in there, yeah, I was gonna say they stuck in the library return box.
Sounds like we,
Now, I'm just a lame duck here, so thank you for your time.
well, I appreciate,
wonder why they're doing it.
I appreciate your comments.
Can I just ask a question?
Yes, sir.
Because some people are obviously going to be unhappy, there is not a reelection. Is there a procedure for them to come forward and question the certification? I mean, I'm hoping that does not occur, but clearly some people have voiced their opinion that there's questions and they're asking for a reelection.
That I can't give you an honest answer. We'll have to check with their attorney.
I think it depends on what they're questioning, the integrity of the
Yes, sir.
staff, and we can address it to us. Questioning.
If they're gonna do a recount tomorrow, same people, with the same ballots, coming up with the same answer, why not, and you're gonna accept that, why not accept what they've already done today? Instead of creating.
Because there's a
Well, he's talking about the recount verification, right? Verification.
Well, I'd say, Bob, for one thing, the council has not approved by ordinance this recount. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Made a motion.
Make a motion, just.
So I'll make a motion to do it.
Eric, can I
Yeah.
clarify that motion?
Just based on exactly what the charter says.
You got to pass an ordinance.
I'll make a motion to establish an ordinance.
No, it's not an ordinance, because
Well, it says by ordinance.
or
It's in the ordinance.
for the prevention, it's in the ordinance, I think. It's not, it's already provided for by our ordinances, which is
Well, I'll
the
make a
charter.
motion to do it,
Yes.
however the heck you gotta do it.
It's in the Eric, though, the way that verbiage says by ordinance.
But the charter.
Right, by this is the
I
ordinance, by
understand,
this.
but you can change it by an ordinance.
Yeah, but if you do an ordinance, you have to.
I understand, and that's fine.
We're not
It would
saying
be
an
so
ordinance
much simpler
in accordance
to
with
let
this
them
ordinance.
recount.
Yeah, yeah.
Not yet.
I suppose my motion is then, based on the charter, I make a motion to have this recount tomorrow with all the registrars there, 3, and Mr. Foster as the witness. Is that clear enough?
Are we in that for clarification? Councilmember?
No. He's saying to have said to do the recount.
Right,
Correct?
right.
Yeah, yes.
All votes, the votes in question, just. Okay, well, I want a clarification on that. And you're only, just the two, is what you say.
Yeah.
Just Dave and Ken.
You don't have to recount everybody
Not,
else.
not the entire ballot, just those
Just
two that
those
you
two.
asked for. And it's gonna be just between the three of you all and the impartial judge, because John's not gonna be there.
Right. So you have
There is
some.
a substitute. I have a substitute registrar, I have a substitute registrar lined up, so that we have 3 registrars and an uninterested person.
Okay, okay, if that's the motion, I'll second.
We have a motion and a second to go through with the ballots tomorrow, just the 2 candidates that are in question, not the whole ballot.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
Ricky, I don't feel like printing that many pages again.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Abstained. Motion carries.
Yeah.
That's
That's fine.
That's
up to you all. You all said your
Now,
time.
you can stop asking us questions.
Yeah.
This is your election.
Shannon, Stewart,
You are in
you do
charge,
it.
and I respect your decision.
And for Pete's sake, leave this lady alone.
Yes, ma'am.
And if the verification of the count results in a tie, then we hold. a
We
new
hold a
election.
new election.
Runoff, just a runoff election, not a new election.
Runoff election.
Just a runoff. New election would be everybody.
It's just a runoff for those two, should it be a tie.
Just for that council seat. Anybody else from the council have anything? Do I have a motion to
I'll
adjourn?
make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to adjourn. Thank everyone for coming.
Oh, we have a light, we got those.
Oh, wait a minute,
Come
we
up
have
with
a
the same
question.
numbers like they did today, that's it, correct?
I'm sorry, Kristen, one more time.
They get the same number as they did today, and it's not a tie, that means it's over. Correct. Be
She was listening to me all day.